My name is Neil Teskey, and I do the boiling for the White Gull. Actually, this is my second year boiling at the White Gull. I boiled the Viking Grill 3 years ago, and another restaurant in Bailey's Harbor 10 years ago. And I've been a commercial fisherman here all my life, so I've been boiling fish probably ever since I was before I could probably drive legally, that is. But anyway, so I've been around the fish boil business all my life, and I've been around the fishing business all my life because I've been I started commercial fishing with my father when I was 12 years old. Anyway, the fish boil started at the White Gull in the early 60s, and the fish boil was just something that the Scandinavian settlers started here to feed themselves when they were doing group events, and by group events, mainly group work events. The fishermen, the loggers, and the farmers all did different things together that they helped each other out, and then they would have fish boils to feed themselves when they got done with their work event. One of the events they did is that my grandmother said my grandfather had a steam engine, and he would take the steam engine. Most of the year used it at the sawmill, and then in the summertime during August and September they had a thrashing machine that all the farmers owned together, and he would take the thrashing machine and pull it from one farm to the next, and then when they got done with all the thrashing for that day or whatever, they would have a fish boil afterwards to feed everybody. So that's, and then in the early 60s, the Viking Grill, the White Gull, and another restaurant in Sturgeon Bay started boiling fish for the public. And here we are today with it's still a tradition in Door County, just a little different than what it was back then. The whitefish is what we use here, and they probably when they started first boiling fish here back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they probably used lake trout. But lake trout got eliminated by the sea lamprey in the 40s and 50s, and whitefish are faster. They got heavier scale on them, and it helped. They survived better. The lake trout did not survive at all. There was no lake trout in Lake Michigan after the lamprey got a hold of them and wiped them out. So now we use whitefish, and almost all the boilers. They did for some time use some lake trout here, but most of the boilers, all the boilers use whitefish now here for their fish boils. Whitefish are caught right here. They're caught right by Chambers Island here. Many of the nets are around Chambers Island and south towards Sister Bay and north towards Sister Bay. Excuse me. I'm a fisherman. I don't even know what's So, but then south down towards Sturgeon Bay, they're caught in a net called the trap net, and they'll be lifting nets tomorrow and Tuesday, so that we'll have fresh fish here on Wednesday, and then they'll lift again on Thursday, so we'll have fresh fish here for the weekend. So, anybody have any questions? Don't make it easy on me here.
Are you still fishing?
I still fish, yes, I do. I started fishing with my dad when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And I fished during high school, and I fished during college, and my friends at the end of college asked me what I was going to do. Neil, you're not going to go back up there and fish, are you? I said, that's exactly where I'm going to go. I'm back to Door County to fish. They said, there's nothing to do there, and there's no women. Well, I had 7 kids, so I found a woman. But a woman, yeah. We're not going to get into that. But anyway, I still do some fishing yet. I don't do it to the extent I used to. My dad and I we used to fish. We used to produce anywhere from 200,000 to 300,000 pounds of whitefish every year, and we don't do that. I don't do that anymore.
What do you put the potatoes in?
Potatoes have been in there for exactly 27 minutes approximately.
Oh, okay.
The fish have been in there for almost 6 minutes, and in another 2.5 minutes I'll do the boil over, and the fish will be done. Then you will eat. So anyway, I still do some commercial fishing. The lakes, Lake Michigan, all the Great Lakes have been in decline ever since the mussels got in the lake. The environment, the ecology is really messed up from the mussels being in the lake, because what they do is they disrupt the food chain so badly that everything else above them does not do as well, because they filter out so much nutrients and so much plankton out of the water that everything that needs that on the food chain going up is hindered because of the zebra mussel and the quagga mussel. Any other questions?
Are the zebra mussels as bad as they were 10, 15 years ago? Or they were
The zebra mussel aren't quite as bad because the quagga mussel is a deeper water mussel, and you don't see them on the beaches anymore.
Yeah, okay.
They used to be right up on the beaches. They've kind of moved out to deeper water because the quagga mussel is filtering more water out. It's competition for the zebra mussel. Actually, the whole Lake Michigan, all the way over to the Michigan side, the whole bottom of the lake is covered with quagga mussel.
Oh, wow.
It's all the way out to 800-900 feet of water, completely covered.
Wow.
So,
I
and
didn't know that.
basically, what they did is when they took some of the plankton out of the water, that the little freshwater shrimp that the whitefish used to feed on in the Great Lakes got not eliminated, but the populations were decimated pretty much, so that the whitefish ate those strictly, and that was a good source of protein. And the whitefish, it slowed down their growth rates. Now it takes almost twice as long for a whitefish to reach maturity. It has to be 6 years instead of 3 years because the growth rates are slowed down so much.
Wow.
Well, I think I'm gonna do your boil over.
All right.
You ready?
Everybody have your cameras ready?
Yep. Yeah.
That lady, when they asked me, can you do that again? I said, "No, again. I missed it. Can you do that again? It's boil over time.
Okay.
Here we go. Boil